ซึ่งแน่นอนนะครับว่าก่อนที่เราจะทำความเข้าใจนะครับถึงแนวทางสู่ความสำเร็จในการปลดปล่อยคาร์บอนในภาคส่วนการผลิตการขนส่งแล้วก็การใช้พลังงานสะอาดในอุตสาหกรรมต่างๆของประเทศไทยกันได้นะครับก่อนอื่นเลยเราต้องขอทำความเข้าใจนะครับบริบทจากทั่วโลกกันก่อนนะครับซึ่งลำดับแรกนะครับผมจะขอพาทุกท่านไปทำความเข้าใจร่วมกันในการบรรยายพิเศษของเราในวันนี้นะครับ And next may I invite Mr. KAJIWARA Toru, Minister and Chief of the Economic Section at the Embassy of Japan in Thailand, to deliver a talk on the topic, the future of decarbonizing transportation and power generation on a global scale. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. KAJIWARA. And before we begin, may I shortly introduce Mr. KAJIWARA to you all. Mr. KAJIWARA currently serves as the Minister and Chief of the Economic Section at the Embassy of Japan in Thailand. He has extensive experience working with various international institutions, including his role as the head of the Division for Asia Pacific and Partnership at the Global Energy Relations Division of the International Energy Agency in Paris. His expertise will surely provide valuable insights into the future of decarbonization on a global scale. Mr. KAJIWARA, if you're ready, now the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Saudika, and thank you very much, and my privilege and honor to be here to speak and also to learn from you on this very important topic of, I think it's the future of decarbonization of transport and power generation sectors globally, and also maybe taking some examples from Japan and also the world. So this is a slide showing how in Japan we see the challenges of the green and digital transformation, especially in the automobile industry. We do have the social demands to proceed with the carbon neutrality and also face with population decline, which is, I think, similar challenges in Thailand, and also the economic losses and due to accident and traffic congestion. And also, of course, from user end, there's a trend towards from away from ownership to usership, and also more personalization of the motor vehicles, automobile experiences. And also, I think it's more like customer experiences over functionality. So this is in addition, I think, is to this the challenges, the need. I think it's we are trying to proceed with the green transformation, which is of course carbon neutrality throughout the entire vehicle life cycle, which is very important. I think it's here in Thailand as well, and also innovating and also meaning innovation, promoting innovation, seeking multiple pathways to realize this goal of decarbonization. And also digital transformation, I think it's also is a major challenge. I think it's new vehicles. I think it's a software-defined vehicle is also emerging. And if you look at, I think it's global trend. I think it's the trend focusing on electrification in the major regions. What we would see, I think it's the global trend. I think it's is actually that when you see the EV, I think it's the sales ratio of hybrid vehicles in Europe and United States has been increasing, and many of the experiences that I think Japan has been working on the automobile sector, including hybrid technologies, that will be used in common to strengthen competitiveness of electric vehicles, such as improving energy-saving technologies, in reducing the weight of vehicles, the improving aerodynamic performance. So this is, I think, is the global trend. So if you look at also China, I think it's the EV and also the plug-in hybrid is also rapidly increasing. think there's a surge that we face in exports from China because the electric vehicle market is expanding broadly as we see globally we see here. And in China, the supply capacity of electric vehicles has been built up domestically. And also a large number of Chinese-made electric vehicles are exported to overseas market in search for the sales outlet. As a result, the export of Chinese-made electric vehicles increased significantly. So in response, the US, Canada, and Europe have begun to take countermeasures, such as imposing additional tariffs on Chinese cars to stop the influx of Chinese electric vehicles. So if you change a little bit, I think it's from EV to a biofuel areas. I think it's many countries in global south or emerging economies are developing and producing biofuel and also biogas vehicles as the main measure for decarbonization options. In parallel, of course, with the EVs that we see in the previous slide. For example, in Brazil, based on their abundant agricultural resources, it's increasing their biofuel production and also use, and also introducing flex fuel vehicles. This is also based on technology developed in Brazil that allows the ratio of gasoline to biofuel to be changed from 100% gasoline to 100% biofuel. So India is also extending its production of biofuel, as you probably know, and has begun its effort to replace biogas with fuel for oil and gas vehicles. And this way, I think probably you've seen that there are various technologies such as EV and also fuel cell vehicles as we see later on, and also hybrid as we see that market is growing, and also biofuel and e-fuel vehicles that have been developed. As you see in this chart, I think there are various energy sources that are used, and also the powertrain is also a variety of powertrains that have been developed by automobile industries, and also infrastructure that supports this production is also, I think, it's growing. So this is just a list of measures that the Japanese government have been taking to promote green transformation in the automobile sector. So first, with regard to electrification, in addition to subsidizing the purchase of electric vehicles and other hybrid vehicles in Japan, and we are supporting the development of next generation batteries, such as all-solid-state batteries, in anticipation of the full-scale spread of electric vehicles. In addition, regarding the use of hydrogen, we also be supporting the introduction of commercial fuel cell vehicles and developing hydrogen stations in Japan. And also, I know there's a hydrogen station now developed in Thailand, so which we'll also touch upon later. But in addition to expand the introduction of technologies, it's still important also to support technological development. So this is the examples of the electrification initiatives by Japanese OEM. So you see that Japanese OEM are also working towards electrification. In addition to all the initiatives of the hybrid and the other new energy vehicles. Each company has a specific sales target for electric vehicles for 2030 and 2040, and each company is investing trillions of yen, including the development of next generation batteries. Toyota, for example, plans to start local production of electric vehicles in the US in 2026. We also heard the same year in Thailand, 2026, is also planning to start production of electric pickup trucks. So this is the very important, I think, this chart or the to show that how also the Japanese government have been promoting business transformation of the automobile parts suppliers, mainly which are often small and medium-sized enterprises. So suppliers will also have to capture this demand, as I outlined, towards the various pathways for automobile industries, various powertrains, and also fuels as well. So this is the challenge for, especially for small and medium-sized companies working in an auto parts industry areas. So it is not easy. So to embark on this transition. So the Japanese government has taken measures to support this effort of these small and medium-sized suppliers, for example, by dispatching experts and also supporting capital investment by these companies. So fortunately, I think the expansion of the hybrid vehicle production in Japan already happening has also led to the accumulation of knowledge somewhat for the energy conservation, low carbon emissions as suppliers, which has helped to promote electrification. But there are various measures that the Japanese government have been taking to address this very important challenge of the transition to low emission vehicles. So let me also talk about the another very important area, which is hydrogen. I think this is also the topic of discussion for today's panel. So the Japanese government also has been working to introduce hydrogen. Hydrogen is expected to have high potential, especially in long distance, heavy duty truck and buses, and where electric vehicles cannot handle it. In Japan, in 2017, 7 years ago, Japan became the first country in the world to formulate basic hydrogen strategy, and also is promoting the introduction of fuel cell vehicles and development of hydrogen refueling infrastructure. So Japan automakers, of course, Toyota and Honda, are also working together to utilize hydrogen. And as just an example, as you probably know, the Toyota, in partnership with the Bangkok Industrial Gas and also PTT here, is also working to promote the use of hydrogen, and also including, I think it's establishing the first hydrogen station here in Thailand. I think it's also it's important maybe to touch a little bit upon the synthetic fuels or e-fuels. The Japanese government is supporting this development of large-scale and highly efficient manufacturing processes in Japan. Production will begin in 2025, and the company aims to commercialize it by the early 2030s. Internationally also, we are promoting collaboration with the other countries through bilateral dialogue with Germany, Italy, and also other countries. So then also, I'd like to come back again a little bit on the issue of the biofuel, which I think is very important for this country. So we also believe that I think it's biofuel, as also was discussed. I think it's a very important source of energy and fuel, especially for emerging economies such as Thailand. So Japan is also promoting the supply of gasoline mixed with ethanol as well. And also international front, as you see in this the slide, the Japan agreed last year on an initiative to cooperate with Brazil. As I mentioned, also Brazil is a very advanced country in this. On the Brazil technologies related to sustainable fuels, and also Japan's hybrid and other mobility technologies. Also, the India took initiative to establish the Global Biofuel Alliance, which also Japan is taking part actively. And I think I also like to touch upon this very important initiative being developed here in Thailand, also by, of course, NTEC colleagues, and also in collaboration with NATO Japan. It's a very promising, I think, it's initiative by these two agencies in collaboration with the long-term, I think, it's research and development effort. It led to the development of the HFAM. I think it's a premium fuel that overcomes the challenge of conventional biodiesel. And also it is 100%, I think it's a biodiesel it has been achieved. So they have conducted a 10,000 kilometer driving test with a pickup truck and with the B100 conditions, and demonstrated that effect of reducing CO2 emissions by about 50%. And as also very importantly in Thailand, PM 2.5 by as much as 86%. So it can be proposed also, it can be produced for less than one bird per liter. And so they expect it to be very promising. I think it's a decarbonized fuel if it's developed on a commercial scale to support this the effort to decarbonizing the fuel for the transport sector in Thailand. Let's talk a little bit about, I think, the Japanese own target on carbon neutrality, as we also been developing. I think Thailand also is developing, I think it's for the COP process, I think it's NDC, nationally determined target. I think so Japan made an international commitment to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 and reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 46% by 2030, which actually is on track, as we see in the next slide. The goal is to achieve and promote decarbonization by making new investment of 150 trillion yen over the next 10 years through public and private partnership. The investment of 17 trillion yen is expected to in the fiscal year 2030. So, as I indicated, Japan is on track to meet this net zero emission target by 2050. And in the fiscal year, in 2022, a decrease of 2.3% year-on-year is recorded, and also compared to, of course, and also in comparison with the 22.9% as if you compare with the 2013. So as a result, Japan is among maybe the only country in G7 and also developed countries maybe is assessed to be on track to the net zero target by 2050. So this is how the various countries progress on the path towards 2050. So you see there are a lot of countries, and maybe it's a bit hard to see in the slide, but this is the red line. It shows sort of the expected path towards carbon neutrality by many countries. I think it's for by 2050. But also the black line also shows the trend, which is I think it's many countries are not on track, unfortunately. No, against this, I think in Japan, on the right-hand side, upper column, I think we're making substantive progress with it. So next, I think I'd like to talk about the role of innovation to achieve carbon neutrality. In Japan, most of the investment for decarbonization will be in the development early stage implementation of new technologies. See the why. I think this graph shows that half of the emissions reduction in carbon neutrality by 2050 will depend on innovative technology that have not yet been introduced to the market. So there's a need to rapidly advance innovation in the field of clean energy, and also R&D demonstration and also implementation is very key. So about 2 years ago, this is Japan's GX promotion strategies. So Japan formulated the Green Transformation Promotion Act and also promotion strategies based on this act. So it clearly states that it's important to promote energy conservation and make renewable energy the main power source, and also utilizing nuclear power, support of hydrogen, ammonia, etc., which I think is a very, very diverse and mixture of all the important initiatives that are contained in this basic law and this DX law and also strategy. And also, most importantly also, this policy requires to attract, I think, investment on the scale of 100 trillion yen that I talked about, also through the issuance of GX economic transition bond and carbon pricing and also international cooperation. So this is our approach on the growth-oriented carbon pricing. So to promote the green transformation investment in line with the introduction of the carbon market. So Japan is scheduled to introduce the growth-oriented this carbon pricing at the same time as this issuance of green transformation bond. Its concept is to create a mechanism to incentivize businesses that take the lead in green transformation and also full-scale sort of operation of emissions training schemes and introduction of the green transformation surcharges in the future will be considered. Specifically, with respect to the emission trading system, Japan plans to start trading for high-emitting industries from the 2026 onwards, and also introduce emission allowance auctions from 2033 onwards. So in regard to GX surcharge, it's also planned to levy on fossil fuel importers and other entities from 2028, according to the amount of the CO2 derived from fossil fuel that they import. So as you will be considering, I think, the next PDP, Japan is also be considering the 7th Strategic Energy Plan. This is maybe of some reference to you as well. So Japan announced the new strategic energy plan, and the principle of Japan's energy policies always remains to be S+3E: safety, stable supply, economic efficiency, and environmental compatibility. While maintaining this principle, the direction was to aim for a balanced power supply mix that avoids excessive dependence on specific power sources, which is very important, and fuel sources also, while ensuring decarbonizing power sources by maximizing the use of the renewable energy and nuclear power. So it is a careful balance to be struck. Another important point is the policy of considering the energy policy and the industrial policy in an integrated and cohesive manner. I think this is also the key point. I think it's energy decarbonization and also continuous development of the industry should go hand in hand. In addition, the policies in each field should be, I think, it's clearly linked. The positioning renewable energy as a major power source will promote the development and introduction of next-generation solar cells and floating offshore and wind power generation while working to coexist with local community and also the reducing the burden on the public. So this is also important aspect when you consider introduce the renewable energy. Also, it's very important to have a wider stakeholder consultation which may be affected. We also promote decarbonization by restarting nuclear power plants and also accelerating research and development of next generation reactors and reducing the amount of power generated by the inefficient coal-fired power plants, and also most importantly also using new source of the energy such as hydrogen, ammonia, and also new technologies such as CCUS. So this is the last slide. So we are partnering with the ASEAN countries, of course, including, in particular, Thailand, to promote the cooperation, international cooperation in this region under the Asia Zero Emission Community Initiative, or AZEC, as we call it. So it is very important. Indeed, I think it's indispensable to achieve, to work towards carbon neutrality together through international collaboration and cooperation. So this AZEC concept was launched by our Prime Minister in 2022 and aims to promote realistic decarbonization in the Asian region. So we, of course, faced common challenges as we talked about. I think it's a dependence on the traditional fields and also the industry structure that are heavily dependent on the electricity and also the fossil fuel based energies to continue to achieve the sustained economic development. I think it's to promote. I think it's to enter into, I think, the high and middle income countries, as we also apply for the OECD membership. So the AZEC, this in terms of the ATIC, the AZEC held summit meetings and the ministerial meetings already to formulate concrete action plan for the next 10 years to promote comprehensive efforts to transform the industry and energy structure themselves, while also promoting or finding or developing the individual project to promote the introduction of new technologies. So we're very much committed to deepen the collaboration in each country of ASEAN, but of course here in Thailand as well. So let me conclude, I think it's by saying that I think it's the long-term, long-standing collaboration between Japan and Thailand, which actually go beyond energy sector, but has also the implication and positive implication for decarbonizing the whole economy, and especially, of course, the transportation and power that I just talked about. So this relationship of our co-creation and also prosperity that we've been promoting at the Embassy of Japan, also Japan and Thailand, is a very strong partnership of trust. So I sincerely hope that Japan and Thailand, we are reliable and long-term partner with hand in hand, both private and public, to create future of our decarbonized society through green transformation and also digital transformation together. So I hope that today's event will open up and promote future of both Japan and Thailand in this path and become the foundation for the development of clean energy and the clean energy transition, both in Thailand and in Japan in a new area. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. KAJIWARA, for sharing your valuable insights into the future of decarbonization on the global scale.